Bit of action going on down here. Yeah, well, pussy, hey? Hey, you a nice pussy? Yeah, donk, 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 donk. I went to bed at about 12:30 rather. And then woke up to donk, 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 donk about, which you can probably hear right now. Cat wrestling with the bone. At about 5:30. Needless to say, I didn't get much sleep, but I had it in my head I got to get in there today and start looking for jobs in a particular area. So I went in there and left me bloody cell phone behind, so any of these people looking at my resume couldn't contact me straight away anyway because my damn phone was turned off and still at home. And I thought, I know I'm going to be tired, I've got to take a few of those energy drinks with me. Completely forgot about that. Got a bit of stuff uploaded to YouTube, which means I won't have to put up as much when I go to church, but surprising when you look in the Yellow Pages how many businesses either aren't at the address, and I'm not joking, I went and looked in Yellow Pages, wrote them all down on a notepad. Then I went into Google Maps and tried to work out where they were. I swear black and blue, I wrote down the exact right addresses. And there's roads that don't exist, you know, crescents, streets, roads that just, they're not just misspelled, there's just not even a street even with a similar name or anything, you know, and there's ones that are listed just as a general city and then you find out they're in a particular suburb. You know, people got these business addresses and you think, oh, I'll go around to the business, and you find out it's their fucking personal home where they live. Somehow is listed in Yellow Pages, their personal house. And it's like, rightio then. You know, just a bit strange. And there's quite a few of them there that I couldn't find. There's others you get there. I went to looking at demolition joints. And yeah, end up going to some joints and they're all locked up and everyone's car's there, but they've gone, you know, left the joint at bloody 7 AM or whatever to go to the job, all just got there in the morning and bang, disappears straight away. And of course I turn up there at 10 o'clock and nobody's there because they're all disappeared at 7 AM. But I'll have to work that out for next time, obviously. Probably would have helped if I had had a excavator license too, but I don't, and that's what it is. Anyway, got through a fair few joints there, and I got to about 1 o'clock, and oh god, my head's going. I just, you know, all my concentration was shot to bits. It's still not terribly great now. I should really just go and lay down and have a sleep now, but while the sun's still up, and there's the slight possibility of somebody calling, I want to stay awake and keep my phone on and go and burn some more of this crap. And I might be getting into bed real early tonight, like about bloody 7 o'clock or something like that. It also didn't help that, yeah, when I got home at 12:30 last night, I didn't light the wood heater. I just said, stuff it, I'll be right. And surprisingly enough, I had enough body heat that I didn't even need to. Except when you get to that point after Kitty wakes you up and you lay there for about half an hour and you say, oh shit, what's the time now? And, you know, it's like 6:30, and well, I looked at the clock and it was 6:25 and I thought, oh, there's no point lighting the wood heater. But the trouble was, for the last half hour before that, probably realistic to the last hour or 45 minutes or something like that I've been laying there for, after the cat woke me up with all the bone knocking, it was too cold to go to sleep You know, I was fine initially, but you get that sort of part where a lot of you who work early hours will know this, especially if you work night shift and stuff like that. You get to that point where in the hour before the sun comes up, it gets really cold, like a lot colder than it has been the rest of the night. And that's quite common here for it to do that. And, yeah, it was too cold to really sleep, regardless of the fact that I was fine earlier on in the night. We just hit that point before sun up that it just goes colder than usual, and it was too cold to sleep. And then I looked and I thought, well, I've set the alarm for 7 o'clock and it's 6:25. What's the bloody point of lighting now? Because I'm not going to get half an hour's sleep. So anyway, long story short, I just kept laying there, and then I thought, oh, stuff it, I'll get up. So I got up, but yeah, it's watching television too much at this on-grid house that I'm looking after. You go over there and you know, use the microwave to cook tea or whatever, and then next thing you're watching TV, and then next thing you get some bizarre blooming foreign movie that you're watching all in subtitles, and you just, time just keeps going. And yeah, one other thing before I forget it, and I better get it out of the car too. One of the demolition joints, all I could see was their home addresses and all this sort of crap. Or some of them only have a suburb, so you don't know exactly where you're going in that suburb, and it'll be a, you know, residential area, and you won't really know. And I found one just by chance, actually, busting for a piss. So I went down to one particular place that sometimes unlocked, and it's sort of a government-owned facility, but it's sometimes locked, sometimes unlocked. So I thought I'll give it a shot and go there. Yeah, it was unlocked. Went and had a piss, and then went and wandered up there, and the guy, I drove past it, but it was actually locked, and he was out at the quote-unquote top shed. Well, I don't know where the fuck his top shed is. So that was that. There's no other buildings they have on that street for that business. Next door to it was a nursery that's also, well, another government thing that's sort of trying to give disabled people a job, regardless of the fact that able-bodied people can't get one. And they go and give them some job just to, it's usually on some ridiculously low rate, all subsidised, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, half the time subsidised by state government or local government or whatever. And they've got a nursery. Well, I thought, well, I'll go and have a look in this nursery to see if this guy's going to come back within, 5 or 10 minutes. Of course, as you can imagine, I had to buy something. I've actually been busting to get this for a long time. So I've got 2 pots. I've trimmed them back a little bit, but this here, I don't know if you all might get a general idea looking at this sort of stuff, and these big danglies, what this is. This is native mint. Now, unlike Vietnamese mint, which is actually not related to mint at all, this is related to your general mint plants, and it's the native mint that Aboriginals have used for many years. And I tell you what, it is the freshest mint you've ever come across. And the leaves are small, I know that, but this stuff is, oh, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And I've only seen it in botanical gardens before that. And of course, this place, because they're government owned and they can pretty much get whatever they want with impunity, they've got all the natives you could ever dream of that nobody else will stock. And because they can't get their hands on them. And yeah, they had another thing there that was an Aboriginal food that was a spinach substitute, and I was going to get it because it was only $2 a pot, and there was a little ground cover in it. It's yeah, very small, take years to grow. You can only eat the fresh, young shoots. Blah 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 blah. Fuck it, no point. So I didn't get that. So I got these. These are intriguing. When you squeeze the leaf, usually with mint you'll get a little bit of juice. with this, it's like about a quarter juice, 3/4 oil. These are incredibly high oil content in the leaves. So you get all this mint oil, and it's, as I said, you know, it's bloody beautiful stuff. And I've bought myself some other mint. Couldn't help myself as well. Went to the cheapo joint again. Chocolate milk, alcoholic, 18%. That's, what is that again? 36 proof. Yeah, 36 proof. $12. It's basically like friggin' Big M, like a chocolate milk thing. Bloody fantastic. Got a few other bizarre things. Got a lot of odd stuff there. Mango and cranberry mix. Other stuff that we usually don't eat in the country, but somebody decides to import anyway. And Mexican chili beans. A few other bits and pieces. Some strange canned coffee. I might have a go of that in a minute. Anyway, I got some seeds a while ago for, I think it's normal peppermint. And I was going to plant that in that IBC, but hey, I got those two there. You know, I got the main mint IBC, you can see there. And then I got the other half sitting beside it. And the big one, the taller one, that's originally the base, has got a whole heap of that chocolate smelling mint. And the other one I just never really put anything into, except spring onions, which some bug got to last year. So I might dump these two pots in there. And as for the mint seeds, well, I might just have a bit of potted mint as well, because it's good organic deterrent for pests to have a bunch of potted mint and marigolds and a bunch of other things around your broccoli and stuff to stop the butterflies getting into it. Drowns the smell out, apparently, of the broccoli, because all I can smell is just the mint. So might give that a shot too. Oh yes, prickly currant bush. I'll be in that area literally only a couple of 100 yards up the road from that nursery again tomorrow. And long story short, they've got another native one that's called prickly currant bush. And it's like these, they're only pretty small, I think, like most native things, like your native cranberries and your native blackberries and, you know, your wild blackberries, which are actually feral here. Feral blackberries, but we call them wild blackberries. The one that's out in the bush / forest / jungle is always smaller, as you'd know from seeing wild cranberries and stuff like that in the States. This is currants. Now these are native and they're not terribly big. I think they're only quite small. Probably only blooming 2/3 or half the size of normal currants, but they're called prickly currant bush, and that's another Aboriginal food. And a whole heap of little seedlings. The little pots are like, we're looking at like 2-inch by 2-inch pots, $2 each. And unlike some of the other stuff there, it's going a little bit yellow because it's coming out of season or whatever. These are full-size bushes that I think they grow to about 1.6 metres or something like that, which should be about 4.5 foot or something, 5 foot, something like that. I'm not too sure, but anyway, they're a native as well. I can get a bunch of them for $2. And I know I've had a lot of other trees and bits and pieces die at the front. And when I went and got all these other ones and put like the bigger cages on some of the other trees, of course I'm left with absolutely shitloads of those tiny little chicken wire tree guards that I made up a couple of years ago. I got shitloads of them. And as a result, I might whip some of them out again. And yeah, plant some of these currant bushes, possibly out there. I've got to think about it a little bit, but yeah, that'd be an ideal spot because it's already fenced off from sheep, and I've already got plenty of tree guards and all that, and just whack a bunch in there and see how we go with all that. But they're going to take many years to grow, so I don't know if it's even worth it. There's a possibility that I might put some down there where the what his names are, the grapevines or something like that. You know, it's good to have stuff where you've got some sort of a water source to be able to water it. But anyway, I better light this fire and get this damn coffee down so I can wake up a little bit, and yeah. Alrighty, I keep telling you guys that I'm going to show you all this stuff one day, butchering, blah 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 blah. Never get to it. Never really get to it. And my father doesn't like anything shown on camera. Hell, I even showed carcasses hanging up, and he didn't like that. Anyways, I've got this, as you probably realise, it's sitting in the shower base. That's because there's bloody good lights inside this bathroom. And also, you know, if you're going to put it in anywhere in a bathroom, you might as well put it in a place where you can wash all the blood away. Not that there's any actual blood, because this sheep has been dead for a day. There's the other one I was saying about that I found collapsed, that couldn't get its head up, blah blah blah. Anyways, this is a nice knife. I was using another shitty knife, and that was no good, not sharp enough. You get decent handles, good handles with like a lump so your fingers don't slip, and they always have that sort of a curvish end there. I don't know where the hell I've put my giant big Victorinox one, but I also haven't finished sharpening that terribly much either, and this thing is sharp enough to take your friggin' fingers off. So, one of the little tricks that we do, especially if we move it into more light over here, is hang on. I'm better at doing this with me right hand, so it's always good to have somebody else pulling it back for you as you're doing it, but you'll get the general idea. Now, you don't actually go like that. What you do is you go like that, and you're almost sweeping it with the tip, your pointy little tip, stroking it as you sort of, just see if I can, I'll do this piece here. It's all bits of meat, but yeah, there's not much there. I'll go through here. You really got to be pulling this back as you're doing it. And I've missed along the camera. There we go. There's no light. Bloody hell. This is something where you really need somebody else. And because it's always good to have one hand pulling this back, by pulling the skin back as you. It's coming away sort of alright. I can't hold this damn camera in my teeth or anything, so there we go. Bit of tension on it there. This is just bloody useless. You'd be lucky if you even see this footage because my hands are going all over the place, the camera's going all over the place. Didn't get much dirt on it this time anyway, thankfully. And I can't pull the skin back and blah blah blah. But anyway, long story short, I've done pretty well at not getting much dirt on it, although it was sitting on concrete a minute ago. And you end up hitting, there's a knee, yeah, the knee's right there. This is back leg, so your knee's there. And you have like a massive sinew that comes down. When they hang them, the massive sinew's here, but the bone's here, and they have just a little, tiny bit of thin, crappy sinew like that. But that's like, not sinew, but like a major tendon. So there's a huge tendon there, and then bone. And in between the two, you just got a little bit of that sinewy relish, and you basically just slid a knife into it, and that's where you put the hook to hang it up in the legs. So it's either a hook through the arse, a single hook through the arse, or a hook through each leg. It's like a big blooming S hook thing. It sort of goes like bump, bump, like that, and you have one leg hanging there, one leg there, and then the pole or whatever that's holding the weight of the sheep or the crane or whatever, hook through there. And yeah, but anyway, that's not much, you know. It's really one of these things where you need both hands to do it and you need another person to do it. And I'm only doing a leg, I'm not doing an entire sheep. But anyway, you get the general idea of what goes on in regards to slicing anyway. Alrighty, I'll just skin that and I'll show you guys. That's your big bit of sinew, your big bit of, what's his name, tendon, and you just go, and it's getting along the bloody ground. Shit, we're having a good time doing all this single-handedly. Yeah, anyway, long story short, you put a hole in between the giant tendon there and the bone there, and that's where she goes through. And there's a bizarre, sort of strange, like it's got like basically a second bone. This tendon here hooks to a second bone here, as you can see. But then you've got like a knee joint here, and the bone comes along and it's almost flat, and then it reconnects. And what happens is, I shouldn't really be doing this with a slicing knife, but there's almost like a predetermined crack right about there. And you push it side on. I think you can see, yeah, you see it. Right there next to my fingernail. That's like the predetermined cracking amongst the two sides, more or less. That's where your joint is. And so what you then do is, it's designed to go, you know, north and south. So you push it east or west and it just snaps up altogether. And with that, that's how you separate, you know, your skin off your leg. But that's usually how you separate the whole skin and the hoof and the whole lot from the rest of the carcass. And if we look, there you go. Ball and socket, that's your ball. Anyway, I'm going to get on to the next one. Kitty's ate the first one. I've got the second one out of my fridge for him. And this will be number 3, and they're going to go and do number 4.